The medic rode up into this thing. She said, first aid, Sydney Sweeney, cast department, bitten by a spider, now Spider-Woman.
Madam Web! So it stars Dakota Johnson from the 50 Shades trilogy, and it has Sweeney something. I forgot her last name, but she plays in Euphoria. All the guys must find her so attractive. In the media, people were like, there's this dude that was jacking off at the theater to her. They had to get kicked out. This movie is a spin-off of, you know, the Spider-Man movies, Morbius, Kraven the Hunter that's coming out in Venom. So she's like another like anti-villain slash good character. So I remember Madam Web when I was younger watching the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon, and she was the one that could tell the future. She has a little red dress thing, and she's sitting in a web chair, and she has little glasses on because she's blind, but she could see shit. She would tell Spider-Man, oh, this is gonna happen to you, you're doomed. But I remember the episode where Mary Jane was gonna die and he couldn't stop it, and she was trying to stop it, but she told him you ain't gonna be able to stop it.
What's this? Some phony fortune teller?
Phony? What? Ha! You are the phony.
How did you know what I was thinking?
I know much more than your trivial thoughts, Spider-Man.
I'm not Spider-Man.
You are a terrible liar.
So basically this movie opens up with her, and no, it opens up with this weird jungle place, let me tell you. So it's a jungle. I don't know why they're in a jungle. Oh, she's looking for spiders. She's looking for a spider that has healing powers to heal sicknesses.
These little spiders have the potential to cure hundreds of diseases.
And she's pregnant. Like, bitch, you 9 months pregnant in the jungle, so looking up spiders. You bitch, you crazy. Your daughter gonna die. And she has her partner, which is the villain of this movie. I don't know his name, but he's weird.
Do you think we're close?
She finds the spider, she's all excited, she had all her research, she's ready to go get this cure, and he's like, oh, I need that spider. So he pulls out a gun and shoots the bitch, takes the spider, and proceeds to leave. So then you see whoosh, people running through the trees. I was like, what the f is happening? People are jumping out of trees like monkeys, and they pick her up. And these are the spider people from the woods of the jungle, and they bring her to this little well thing, and then they give birth to the baby, and they try to fix her with the spider because the spider has healing powers, but they didn't heal the bitch because she got shot and she dies. So then they get the baby and they tell the baby, you'll be back to us. It was weird. And then she grows up and she's a paramedic, like 911. She's like, my mother abandoned me, so I've been in a foster home, da 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 da. But she don't know that mama was trying to help her because apparently she had a sickness when she was a baby in her stomach. She was gonna be, oh, I can't say that. Spoiler alert. So anyways, she fixed her because she got bitten by the spiders. It jumps to the man, he's older now. He had a lady friend over that he just coursed, they in the bed. Basically, she sees something on his phone or something, and then when he touches you, poison goes in your body. So he be having dreams and shit. So he has a dream that these 3 spider women kill him. In the future. So he wants to find these 3 spider women and kill them before they kill him. And mind you, this vision that he has the 3 girls, Sweeney girl, the other girl, and they all are Spider Women. Spider Woman trailer, the Madam Web trailer, all the action, that's the only action in this movie per se with the spider people. So this is why I think people didn't like this movie. They thought it was gonna be a whole ass Spider Girl movie with Madam Web being the leader or some shit. But this ain't that movie. This movie is set up for Madam Web's character. It's her backstory, how she became who she is, Madam Web. So basically that's what this is. And that's what I took it as. I didn't take it as a whole ass Spider-Man Venom movie that was full of action, which is why I kind of liked it for what it was. But it wasn't a good movie, let me tell you. There's horrible VO. Like the villain, when he talks, he has this deep voice, and they do voiceovers throughout the whole movie, and it's so odd. Like you're in the scene, his mouth ain't moving, but you hear him talking. This is so weird, and it wasn't like a part where it's like, oh, I'm thinking this. No, bitch, he talking to people, and she responded to him, but it's a voiceover. It was so weird. Rewind, back to this, the paramedic girl, her sidekick, or her best friend, his name is Ben. Does that ring any bells, bitches? Ben. Like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. Y'all don't get it? Easter eggs galore. This movie has lots of Easter eggs. Lots and lots and lots of Easter eggs. So Ben is her best friend, and his sister is Emma Roberts from Scream 4, American Horror Story, and she's Peter Parker's mom. So she's pregnant with Peter Parker, so that's kind of cool. But they couldn't say Peter Parker in this movie. It was so stupid. It was like the mean one. When they're about to say, oh, we're gonna name him Peter, they cut and like something like a horn comes on.
Guess the name of Mary's baby. Because Richard Jr.
Richard wishes. Cassie, what's your guess?
Ben?
The name is...
Wait, bitch, we know it's Peter Pan. I mean, oh God. Hold on. We know it's Peter Parker. So there's all those Easter eggs with this movie. So Dakota Johnson's character, Madam Web, she has visions and she doesn't understand why she's having these. Like there's a whole big crash with her paramedic shit. The only black guy in the movie, Mike Epps, gets killed. She sees that. It's very Final Destination. Very Final Destination. She sees it and then tries to stop it. But she doesn't realize what the fuck she's seeing. So that part happens. And then she tried to stop him. She's like, hey, let me go instead. And he's like, no, I got this. You know, he Mike Epps. And he died. And then it goes, she's on the subway and she has the vision of the guy, the villain, walking through the subway and choking out and killing the 3 girls who turn into Spider-Women later. And she's connected to all of them, like the bookworm girl from Euphoria, the black girl that's a troublemaker, she's a skater girl, and then you have a Latina girl who is like an orphan as well because her daddy ain't had papers, so he got taken back to Mexico or some shit, and she on her own. These 3 bad girls are on this train, they all get killed by this man, so when she comes to, she helps them. Basically, that's the whole movie. She tries to help these 3 little badass girls who don't want help, but they need help because they're about to get killed, and they realize that, and they don't realize they're gonna be Spider Girls later. And it's very 2000s, like they have Britney Spears' Toxic being premiered, and the 3 girls are dancing in a diner for some little boy. It's like, oh, I like him. I love that there's a big billboard for Beyonce, Dangerously in Love, because her CD came out in 2003. And that's when I knew that this was 2003, because the Beyonce poster, I was like, yes, let's do it. There's a lot of shit, a lot of Pepsi. Let me tell you, this movie is one drawn-out Pepsi commercial if I don't tell it you once or twice. They drinking Pepsi because at the little thing when the bitch was pregnant, they gave her Pepsi instead of a beer. She wanted a beer, but they gave her Pepsi. And then there's a big Pepsi sign at the end where the final showdown where they fight this dude. The Pepsi made the bitch blind. Let me tell you, this is stupid as hell. At the end, when they were fighting, Madam Web fell in the water. She used her powers because, long story short, this movie's stupid. But basically, she goes back to the wilderness and then she meets the spider people who tell her about her. They throw her in the water and she learns her powers from the water. And then she's like, oh, my mom was really gonna help me. I didn't know. I thought she abandoned me and all this shit. And she learns about her powers, try to use it. She can astral project into different places.
Julia! I got you. Come on. Maddie, you're gonna be okay. Anya, give me your hand.
She needs to master her power. And then she goes to have her final battle. He's like, you can't beat me with your mind. I have power. You know, he's a man. They fight and there's a big Pepsi sign. And then when she falls into the water, the Pepsi sign break. And I don't know what hit her. Something hit her eye when she was in the water. And when fire hit water, don't it diffuse? I was confused. I was so confused. Earlier in the movie, she taught the ladies how to do CPR, just in case, like, you know, pressing down to CPR. You know, I don't know. And then it came back later when they had to CPR her. And then she came back to life. Her eyes open and they blood white. They white as white. She blind. So I was like, well, bitch, how do you get blind from fire going into the water? You deep in the water, go whoosh, and then it was weird. They could have did that differently to blind the bitch. Final scene is very like corny, where she has on her full costume. She's like, we're the Madam Webs or something. I don't know. And they had all the Spider Girls from the future, and they all vigilantes and shit. And then they're living in a thing. She has a little wheelchair with her little glasses and her red look. And the Blu-ray cover, and it has Madam Web in her costume. I'm like, well, how are you gonna present this movie and still try to trick people to buy it? Because she only wears that for 2 seconds. That costume is only at the ending scene. Spoiler alert. There's no end credits. Mind you, Dakota Johnson played Madam Web. I've seen various interviews. I think I talked about this before, or maybe a previous episode, where they interviewed her. She knew no backstory on this character. Apparently, this movie went through various reshoots. This is supposed to be a whole different movie. It was supposed to be her protecting Emma Roberts' character. Peter because the villain wanted to kill her before Peter Parker was born. But they had to regroup and they changed it. They changed a lot. And then they're all the actors were all like, go watch the movie, it's great, da 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 da. Now, all the media, Dakota Johnson's like, I'll never do these movies again. I know why it's ended. Sweeney, I can't remember her last name. She did Saturday Night Live and she went off all the movies she's from. And she says, I know a movie you haven't seen that I was in, and it's Madam Web. Like, she made a joke about the movie after the bitch was just saying, go watch it, and it's great. Now she's like, oh yeah, I didn't watch this movie. Y'all know this shit was bad. They're trying to wash their hands of the film because it is so bad, and it trended everywhere of being an awful movie. But I don't know. There's articles as well that said this could be like a cult film going forward. I liked it for what it was. I liked all the Easter eggs. I found enjoyment in it, but again, it's not the best. Like, it was weird. It was too long. I think it should have been like an hour. It should have been a Disney Plus special, y'all. Let me tell you. Madam Web, let me know if y'all watched it, what y'all thought. Would y'all want a Madam Web too? I think it would be cool though if they did like a spin-offs. After they set up this bitch, and they could have the Madam Web, Spider-Girl team. That might be fun, because that's what y'all wanted from the beginning. All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next Blu-ray Tuesday.
What is the wording of something like Madam Web, which you're not a producer on, and not, you know.
Thank you.
There you go. Love for everything. It's all good. But what do you take?
Wait, what?
There you go. Okay. What do you?
They should use that in some quotes.
Yeah.